Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Dominic Spicer. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur from the UK on the road to making my first ever million before I'm 30. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can go and get your first ever web client, or your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, build up a constant stream of clients. Let's get straight into the video. Now if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell notification, and also leave a like on this video, as it greatly helps me and helps grow my channel. Any support is hugely appreciated. So how do you go about getting your first web client? You could do many things. So I'm going to listing 3, maybe even 4 options of how you can go about getting your first client. Now before you go and do ways that potentially can get you new clients, the first thing I do suggest you do is you sort of get a pricing strategy, because obviously long term you want to be charging a good rate. You want to be charging what you're worth and what you're providing. But for your first client, I suggest doing it for free, because if your portfolio is lacking, you don't have any experience in the industry, if you're going to go reach out to new clients and they might ask, oh, could I see some previous work, and you don't have any, that's going to be not only super awkward, but they probably won't go with you, because they want to go with someone who has got some vague experience or plenty of experience, or knows what they're doing. So what I do suggest is your first client will be a free client. Just gets you on the board really. You could, if you wanted, charge a lower rate, charge 50 to 100 quid or something, but I think just charge for free, and not only will you do them a favor, but they'll actually return the favor. They're very likely to refer you, and if you do get referrals, then at the end of the day, that's more clients, and that sort of leads on to our first way to get clients. It's actually through referrals. So let's say you have a friend that needs a website, or maybe a friend of the family or a family member needs a website, and they're looking for someone, but they don't really want to spend a huge buck. Well, you could go out to them and say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll build you a website for said industry, and I'll do it for free, but in return, what I would like is a good review of this service and a good review on my business, and then also to refer me to other people that may potentially need a website. And for most cases, people are like, yeah, that is not a problem, that is a banging deal. And if they say that, then obviously they're a sound client, go with them. Some people might get a bit fishy. If they're getting a bit fishy, kind of be a bit nervy on that. But at the end of the day, you want to get your first client, and that'll be a free client. So you could stick on this way of trying and get referrals, but you might be playing the waiting game for quite a long time, because a lot of people will be like, well, I don't really need a website now, maybe in a couple of months. But you're not going to be wanting to wait in a couple of months. You're going to be wanting to get a client ideally every single week, or depending on how long it takes you to build these websites, depending on the extensive circumference of the website. It might be a huge website, it might just be something small but needs to look good or something. So that is the first way in how you can get your first client. But another way, you could go onto freelancer sites such as Fiverr or Upwork. You could charge a slightly lower rate. I don't know if you can charge for free, so maybe just charge like maybe 1 or 2 free quid. I haven't used Fiverr for such a long time. But the problem with Fiverr, and the reason I have suggested it, is it is an option and you could potentially get a sale, but the problem is Fiverr and Upwork are hugely saturated. And for most cases, people will go on those 2 platforms and be like, well, I'm going to look for an experienced web designer who has maybe a good portfolio of work, has good reviews, and those reviews also reflect well on how well he makes a website, etc. And obviously that's not good for you, because you want to get your first client, and you might get one person, or you might get some people be like, well, this guy's charging a super cheap rate, I'm on a budget, I might want to go here, but that's not likely. But that is a way that you could go and get a client. I mean, I have had a gig on Fiverr and for a bit of graphic design work, though graphic design is hugely saturated, especially on Fiverr and Upwork. So that is a way you can get your client on there. Now the third way, which is definitely the best way in my opinion, is actually cold emailing. And you're like, well, hang on a sec, Dom. Cold emailing is dead. It's not dead if you personalize it, if you apply the rule of a 10 times personalization. The 10 times personalization rule is, you go fully in depth to making that personalized email because obviously on your first email you don't want to sell too much, but just try and like reach out to clients and give them a really good offer. And especially if the first client, you're going to be doing it for free, that's a huge offer. But not only do you want to make that offer good in terms of making it free, but you want to personalize it, you know, having like a video aspect of maybe judging their current website. You could do an overview of a website that you've just redone for them, just give them the potential what their website could look like. That's why you see cold emailing work a lot more, because it's more personal. So you want to try and personalize your emails, because like me, you might be like me and you'd be like, well, I don't like cold emailing because I get a bit awkward on the phone. Yeah, so do I. So that's why I use cold emailing, and that's why you personalize it. Now it's 2021 and I'm reaching out to new clients, and I've already got 3 new clients just from doing cold emailing. And you might think, well, 3 client ain't much. Well, I charge a good amount for my websites just as a base rate going up. So, you know, clients are out there. There are so many. And if you reach out to them, not only are you doing them a favor because they're not having to look for maybe a new web designer, but you're reaching out to them, you're providing value to them, you're slightly upselling, you know, you're slightly providing a service, but you're also giving them free tips. You're giving them free value. Value is the most important thing. If you're doing it for free as well, they're very likely to go with you. So that is today's video, guys. I do hope in some way it has provided value to you. If it has, make sure to leave a like on today's video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.